Nest Corporation is pleased to introduce the NTouch Genie. NTouch Genie is a bridge between IR, RS-232, IP and relay control. In this session we will look at GUI generation with the NTouch Genie Project Editor or PE software. We will see just how flexible and easy it is to create a graphical user interface or GUI with the NTouch Genie Project Editor or PE software. Interface design is limited only by your imagination and can satisfy every install and user experience and suits virtually every device which has IR, RS-232, relay and IP control. It is recommended the NTouch Genie hardware has been installed on a LAN, configured with a static IP address and discovered before commencing GUI design. Having installed the NTouch Genie Project Editor or PE software on your PC, double-click on the red NGenie icon as shown above to launch the PE or Project Editor software. Well, let's find our Genie. Having connected the NTouch Genie or NTG4 to the LAN, we need to discover the Genie. Left-click on Project, right-click NTG4 and select Add NTG4 from Network. The Network NTG4 Discovery window will open. Select and click Discover. The NTG4 has been found and we can now add it to the project by selecting Add to Project. Right-click on the NTG4 which has just been added to the project tree. Select Properties. The Properties window will open with all the relevant information regarding the Genie. Check to see the IP address, DNS, etc. are all correct. Make certain Use DHCP is unchecked, which will result in a static IP address. Click on Apply to NTG4 and then click Done. Adding IR devices. Right-click on IR devices and select Add New IR Device. The IR device setup window will appear. Select the NTG4's IR port for this code set to be emitted and then name the device. In this case we'll call it My Blu-ray. Now select the type of device it is from the device group drop box. DVD. Now select the manufacturer. Select an IR code set which you feel may be applicable to that model and manufacturer. Select the IR Blaster Port 5, point the NTG4 blaster to the target and double-click on the key IR codes to test. If the code set you initially picked doesn't work, simply try another code set. For example, in this case we have code set 1070, and you may have noticed there were at least 3 to 5 different code sets for us to select from. When you're satisfied the code set is functional and works okay, expand the IR devices tree, expand IR keys. The code set for the selected device can now be seen in the project. Adding a GUI group. Right-click on GUIs and select Add GUI Group. Name the GUI group. In this case we'll just call it Test and click OK. Adding a GUI page to the GUI group. Right-click on the GUI group just created and select Add a GUI page and then name the page. I'll just call it My Test and click OK. Double-click on the GUI page just created or right-click to select Edit. The GUI Editor window will open. Select Image Folder and designate the image folder location. It's best to have your images stored in the same directory as the PE software. Click on GUI and select the target screen resolution. We can also select a grid, which makes it easy to position graphics and objects. We can also snap to grid. I'll choose that as an option, and it's very useful to lock buttons, etc. into position. We can change the grid color and spacing, or we can choose to hide the grid.
Now we can start adding backgrounds, labels and buttons in the GUI editor page. Adding a background image. Right-click anywhere in the GUI editor and select Change Background Image. Select the background image to suit the resolution, in this case for iPad. Click Open and the background image will be loaded. To add a label, right-click anywhere in the GUI editor, select Add, then New Label. Type the text for the label, select the font style, the size, the color, and so on. Click OK when you're finished. We've called it My Home Theatre. Now select the label by a left click and position it anywhere within the GUI editor area. Right-click on the label, select Properties to change any of its attributes. Double-clicking the label also invokes properties. Adding buttons by drag and drop from Windows Explorer Images folder. Add buttons easily by dragging and dropping directly from the Windows Explorer Images folder. Make certain that you have pointed to the Windows Imaging folder in question. This is the button for the up position. Now we're going to do the button for the down position or the press position. Make certain you hold the Shift key to drag and drop the button for the press position and simply drag it over the button that you have placed for the up position. Now it's a matter of size and placement. Double or right-click on the button and the property windows appears, or resize simply by clicking and holding the orange dotted border surrounding the button. Adding text to a button. Type in the text and position it exactly where you need it to go on the button by hitting Enter. The text will lower. Click OK, and there we have our button. Change the button via the Properties window. Right-click, select Properties. Change the button size to exacting proportions within the Properties window, the height, the width, and so on. Click OK when you're finished. Now position the button where you would like it to be. Click OK to save the GUI page to the relevant GUI group. Now let's look at importing a GUI group. Right-click GUIs and select Import GUI Group. Select the appropriate GUI group from the saved location. In this case, the folder is called Templates. These templates are GUI groups created for general use and are available free of charge with an NTG4 purchase. The GUI group seen here is actually a GUI group which we have generated covering a wide variety of different applications ranging from Xbox 360 to Foxtel TV. This group is available free of charge and should be on the DVD you received with the N-Touch Genie. If not, please contact your local NES office and we would be more than happy to release this to you free of charge. Double-clicking on a GUI page invokes the GUI editor and the page is ready for editing. Click OK to save the page after editing when you're happy. Adding IR codes to a GUI page. Select an appropriate template or GUI page from the GUI group. Double-click on the desired button to which the IR code set is going to be addressed. Now select the type of action. In this case, it is an IR command. Now select the action, which happens to be rewind in this case. When you're happy with that, click OK. The P in the far left box indicates it has been assigned a press action. Let's do the stop button. Once again, the P indicates a press action has been assigned to the button. Importing an IR device, right-click on IR devices and select Import IR Device. In the IR Devices folder, we have IR code sets saved from previous projects. These saved IR codes were either downloaded from the online device library via the Project Editor software or learned in via the NTG4's IR Learner Blaster Port number 5, as is the case for the Foxtel IQ code sets we are about to open. We'll select the Foxtel one this time. Expand the tree and check to see that all the codes are there. Open the appropriate Foxtel template or GUI page. And here it is. We can drag and drop the IR keys or codes directly from the IR keys tree onto the appropriate button or buttons. Double-clicking on the buttons takes us to the button property screen. I'll just keep adding some more IR codes here. With the volume up and volume down, we need to check the repeat press action while held checkbox. Any idea why? Note that the box with P has changed to green due to ticking the repeat press action while held checkbox. Whilst we're adding the balance of the IR codes, the answer to the previous question regarding the repeat press action while held checkbox is as follows. When pressing volume up or volume down, we require a continuous action for the volume increasing or decreasing. In other words, a continuous IR action. This would also apply to other items such as channel up or channel down, menu up, menu down, and so on. Essentially, any command that requires a continuous action whilst the button is pressed will require this checkbox to be checked. Repeat press action while held suffices very well for this purpose, but that's not the only way to do it. You may have also noticed something called IRTX mode. Okay, here's a quick look at IRTX mode. First, uncheck repeat press action while held checkbox if it is already checked. Note IR command action is already selected. With on press selected, go to Actions, IRTX mode, and select Continuous Pulse. Go back to Actions and select On Release. Go to Type and select IR command action. Go to IRTX mode and select Cancel Continuous. Effectively, this is another method to invoke a repeating IR action, and on button release, the IR stops. We're almost done dragging and dropping our IR commands to the relevant buttons. Well, looks like we're finished. Save the project and upload it to the Genie. It is not really required to upload the project to the Genie unless you have macro codes, but for the sake of this exercise, we'll upload it anyway. Left-click Program, left-click Upload Project, and the project will start uploading to the Genie. Okay, let's generate the GUI group now to HTML. Right-click on the GUI group and select Generate Group as HTML and click OK. The GUIs are being generated as HTML pages and are ready to export to the iPad via the iPad Genie application, which is available free of charge from the iTunes App Store. Just as an added note, it is not a requirement, nor is it 100% necessary to generate HTML pages before exporting to the iPad. In fact, you can export the GUI group directly to the iPad without generating any HTML pages. But I do it for a good reason, and that'll be explained shortly. Here are the GUIs as generated as HTMLs. Double-click on any one GUI to open it. This time, it's the Foxtel GUI. Make certain your Genie is online and facing the target if you're using an IR Blaster port 5 to test. If you're using any one or more of the other IR ports on the Genie, make certain the emitters are placed correctly on the targets. Just as a subnote, you don't necessarily have to generate the GUI group to HTML to export it to the iPad. But it's best to test it this way first before exporting to the iPad or iPhone. This is why it is advisable to generate the HTML pages first, saving them and testing the project before doing multiple exports to the iPad and finding that you're not totally happy with what you've exported. Saves a bit of time this way, and that's my very good reason for doing so. Let's look at testing navigation. What is navigation, you might well ask? Navigation is the ability to press a button and go from one page to the next, similar to navigation in web pages. Let's open the main or home page in our group. Happens to be called Mobile Main-L, standing for landscape. Note the N in the last box. This stands for navigation. Click on navigation and select a page to navigate to. Click OK. That concludes our exercise for the day, and on behalf of Nest Corporation, we hope the video has been informative and helpful. Thank you very much for watching. More information, visit www.nest.com.au and have fun with the NTouch Genie.